Well, greetings. Thank you for watching. Tonight I'll show you how I make my own style of Protection Mojo bag. What you'll need is a Mojo bag, and also I have my own protection sigil on the front of that bag. I have a petition that I wrote on foil, and the spirit I'm using for this is Lucifer. However, you can use whatever spirit, whatever deity, or even Mother Earth to offer you protection when you're on the go. So the spiritual element is very important when you're considering preparing of a talisman. You'll need a clear bottle. Now this is a perfect size bottle to be put into the Mojo bag. And you need a clear bottle because you want to have all the negative energy to be able to penetrate into the witch's bottle easily. And it's suggested that if you have a darker colored glass, that the energies will actually bounce off that darker colored glass. So you have a clear glass, so the darker energies or negative energies or whatever is thrown at you gets absorbed into the contents of this bottle. You'll need some metal, iron fillings, shavings, some sort of iron objects. I also have pins, needles, rusty nails are really good. And if you have little pins like this that I'll be putting in there, I'll be bending them first. Also blood. Blood has a lot of iron in it as well, and you'll notice in the bottom of this jar is some blood. So blood serves two purposes. One is because, once again, it's got iron in it, which is a attraction to all of the other metals here, and also it's an offering to the spirit, which is what talismans are all about. I also went and smashed up, I had a Finnish Doom candle. Of course I'm burning Doom candles all the time, but I actually smashed up a Doom candle. So the Doom has a lot of toxic energy in it anyways, and so the Doom glass, the shattered glass, is something that you'll be putting inside your witch's bottle. And if you had any, for example, I use lancets to prick my finger with. Okay, once again, metal that can rust easily, and so I'll be putting that inside the witch's bottle as well. The other thing that you'll need is some sort of oil that has protective elements in it. Now I made this oil myself, homemade oil, and it has lots of fantastic herbs in there. You can put in there herbs such as St. John's wort, nettle, laurel, onion, mint, pine, garlic. This really smells extremely garlicky. I put quite a lot of garlic in my protection oils. But if you get store-bought protection oil, that's okay. You just pray over it and bless it for its purpose when you receive it at home. That's one way you can ensure that your oils are serving the purpose that you purchased them for. Now the other element is salted water. So salt represents the earth element. And so the earth element neutralizes the effect of all the curses, including like evil eyes and bad juju thrown your way or whatever lighter curses are. Salt water can help dissipate them. And so what you'll do is put about 3 or 4 tablespoons of salt into whatever. I mean, this is a very small container, so I won't need this much water, but I still heavily fill up this with salt. So let me show you how it's easily constructed. The first thing you'll do is put in those metal objects. Each object has a purpose. So as you're putting those objects in the glass jar, you're thinking about how those objects are protecting you. That is key with any of this type of magic. When you're putting in the petition, you're ensuring that the petition has already a sigil on it or the actual written petition before you're going to do this step. So my petition here has it's written, I can't see it actually, but the petition is written in black texture, and the sigil of Lucifer is on the back, and I've also given it a drop of my blood as an offering. Now I'll put on some metal shavings, and as I'm putting in those metal shavings, I'm actually connecting with the spirit. I might be thinking about what I want as an outcome of this. I'm really connecting the energy of my body to the sigil, to the spiritual element, and connecting that with the metal as well, and thinking about the purpose. Now you're folding this away from you. When you're folding your petition, you'll fold it away from you, you'll turn it left, and then you'll fold it again. You'll put the petition in the jar, and then the next thing you're going to do is add probably about a tablespoon full of the oil, the protection oil, and then you'll start preparing your salt water mix. So it's about 3 tablespoons of salt water into the glass. And then while you're pouring the salt water into the bottle, you might say some sort of chant like, Mother Earth, please protect me, water, herbs, salt, clear me and my home of curses, envy, and enemies. Or I might say, Father Lucifer, please protect me, water, herbs, and salt, clear me and my home of any curses, envy, evil eye, other witches, and so on. You're really going to personalize that based on where you feel like you need the protection in your life. Now, I didn't show you on screen, but I actually spat in that jar. You do that if you know the person that's thrown the hex or curse at you, and it's really typical that a witch will spit into the bottle and then seal it. So as you can see, this little jar is just full of protective love. So now the jar is complete, you actually sit it on the table and you can light a candle. Now this is rather a large candle, and you might just want one of the smaller candles, maybe the 3 or 4 inch smaller candles that I use. This is a larger votive candle, but I'm going to leave this burning for a little time on top of the jar. And what you might do is say a chant now, or because, for example, I've petitioned Lucifer to do the protection, I may chant Lucifer's N for as long as I feel like I need to. And then you would just leave it sitting there, allowing the candle to melt and run over the jar. Now, if you don't have time to allow the candle to melt, you could actually say you're in a bit of a hurry or there's other people around. You could also help facilitate this process, and this is basically allowing the candle to melt over the jar to seal the jar. Now, while that is all burning down, I'll show you the end part of this spell or talisman preparation. You'll have your bag that you're going to be putting this jar in, and this is quite large for a mojo bag. And what you're going to do is you're going to breathe into this bag. Now, you might also light your cauldron and burn some protective style incense if you choose, but I'm going to just breathe life into this bag with my own breath. And then you may choose to put the bag over incense if you like. The next day, or when the candle has actually cooled down and the wax is hard, this is when you'll actually put this witch's bottle inside the mojo bag. Now, I just wanted to say, if I hadn't said it before, a witch's bottle doesn't typically go inside a mojo bag. You would normally bury your witch's bottle somewhere on your property. It would be probably at the furthest point of your property, and it doesn't go inside the bag. And it'll stay there serving you maybe for about 3 or 5 years before you might like to do another one. But this magical bag was created for the person that travels around a lot, like myself, or someone that's like a truck driver, or someone who travels across countries for work, salespeople and so forth. So you want your magical protection with you when you're on the go. And when you are on the go, I'll just say that it's really important that you always keep your witch's bottle hidden. No one else is to touch it and no one else is to see it. And remember, if anyone breaks the witch's bottle, they're essentially letting all of that negative energy out again. Now, most of the energy is going to be hitting the person who released it from the bottle. Well, you don't want the witch's bottle broken because you don't want your protection cancelled out. So here I'm sealing the bag, and what I like to do is wrap the string around the bag 3 times and making it really tight. And then the final cords I'm actually tying 3 times as well. And that's all there is to it. Now, it may look a little bit complex the first time, but it's actually quite simple. And remember, it is about connection to the spirit, and so you may want to, as an optional extra, actually dress or feed the bag in an oil that is related to the spirit that you've asked to do the magical workings on your behalf. And that's it. You've now made yourself a fabulous new talisman that has a servitor purpose and it'll protect you wherever you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye for now.